name's Cecilia Tam. I head up the Energy Investment Unit at the International Energy Agency. And we are tracking very closely all of the capital flows into the energy sector, both for fossil fuels as well as for different clean energy technologies. We also work very closely with governments to strengthen their policy environments, as well as to look at ways that more private capital can be unlocked in emerging and developing countries. What we see in the data is that while today the world is investing $2.2 trillion a year on clean energy, twice the rate that they're investing in fossil fuels, too little of that capital is flowing to emerging and developing countries outside of China, with just over 15% going to the developing world, which represents more than 2/3 of the world's population. And some of the biggest challenges we see is related to the very high cost of capital in developing countries, which is a function of both the real and perceived risks of investments in developing countries. If we look at some of the risks and why the cost of capital is so high in the developing world, there's an important role that needs to be played in strengthening policies and the enabling environment to improve the risk-return profile of projects, as well, and in particular for new and emerging technologies or for mature technologies that have yet to enter into some of the developing countries. Public development banks play quite a critical catalytic role in creating early markets to help demonstrate that these technologies can deliver on the performance that they have seen in other parts of the world, and really in creating experience in different countries to show that these technologies from different renewable power technologies, energy efficiency projects can deliver on clean energy delivery. I think for public development banks, there's a variety of important roles that they can play. One is to be providing much needed concessional or public capital at potentially lower rates than what domestic or international banks are providing to improve the returns of these projects, to create early markets. They can also help by structuring projects through different syndication modules that can bring in much more private capital for clean energy projects, and really to work with domestic project developers to create the right pipelines of, or scalable pipelines of clean energy projects. I think the Development Bank of South Africa or PTSMI in Indonesia are good examples of how the public development bank has really enabled co-financing of projects through participating in transactions and or providing risk capital at lower rates to enable commercial investors to come in and finance a variety of renewable power projects, from solar to wind to geothermal projects, by really helping to provide risk equity or concessional debt in structures that can enable much more private capital to participate in different projects. I think there's a lot of opportunities for bilateral public development banks to partner, as well as multilateral, with public development banks in developing countries, really to strengthen their capacity, but also to enable much more development of local capital markets, which is really going to be a critical element if we're going to raise enough finance for the energy transition.